Hey everyone, welcome back to the YouTube channel God Would Do It For You. My name is Steven. I hope everyone's having a great day so far. And what we're going to be talking about today is not taking advantage of what God has given you. And the reason that this is important, especially in today, and also I have to just remind myself of this as well, is when you look at what's going on in the world, especially in today's top news, and how people in positions of power have abused exactly what God has given them, a blessing really, to give people to have the ability to make somebody's dream come true, or to give people jobs at a mass level is a true blessing. That's a position of power, a position of authority that God has gifted you with. And when you take advantage of that, what's going to happen is there's going to be a wealth transfer. And where this is highlighted is in the Bible for sure, when we're thinking of Saul and how Saul was anointed king and how he was going along the wrong path about the position of power that God gave him, even though he did not start out like that, but he started to go down the wrong path. So God had Samuel go ahead and find the new king, which he then anointed David. And at the appointed time, David's army grew, his reputation grew, he became ready, and at that point, God removed Saul from the picture along with his son. And when we think about this, how many of us have been given positions of power or been given authority over certain things in your life, and God is really watching how you choose to handle that position of power or authority? And when I think of that, I think about me and my son. There's not many men that can say, hey, this is what's, I'm going to give you this, and let's see how you decide to go about that power. And there are plenty of single parents, when we're not just throwing gender on it, there's plenty of single parents that I hear about, see, that abuse that position of power, not allowing someone to see their child or talk to the child because they're not giving them money and things like that. And usually that karma comes back around full circle. And I know some people may say, well, what if they're not a bad parent? Every situation is circumstantial. I have nothing to do with that. My main thing, what I look at, is what's right and wrong in that particular category. But even then, when we're thinking of jobs, let's say the supervisor, the supervisor hasn't been doing the best he could or she could. They've been allowing people to get away with dirt, or they themselves have been slacking and they know it, and they've been getting away with it, not knowing that they're getting ready to be removed from their position, and someone else is going to be put in that position pretty quickly. Or a business in your environment, that business has made a stance to say, you know what, we're going to be a blessing to the community, and they're doing the opposite. You can say that about churches, nonprofits. Hey, nonprofit, we're supposed to be helping the environment, and we're actually profiting all the money from what's coming in here. Same thing for a church. Hey, this church is supposed to be a symbol for the community, and they're not helping anybody. They're more concerned about making the church grow so they can get more money in their pocket. The list goes on. The main thing is that when we've been given the right to have a blessed life or a position of authority, God is looking at us intently to see exactly how we handle it. And the crazy thing about God is that he will allow you to get away with it. He'll allow you to get away with it to a point where you can't get out of what you've now intertwined yourself in. And so that way, when he removes you, he knows that you won't be able to get out of it. Because now when you look at what's going on with P. Diddy and just other things in the world as well, our whole election system that's being exposed, there's no way he's getting out of this. Even if he takes people down with him, and think about anybody that's attached to that, they're going to be taken down too. Again, a wealth transfer. People that have been working hard, they have the right heart, the right mindset, they're getting ready to be thrusted into a position of authority and power. It's coming. It is coming. It is coming. So what will you do if God were to have a wealth transfer to you? Maybe there's a family member that has an inheritance coming for you that you have no idea. You have no idea it's coming. And then all of a sudden you get a letter in the mail saying, hey, this is being transferred to you. What will you do? How will you handle that authority, that blessing? Are you going to squander it all on yourself, or are you going to do the right thing and try to make it grow, be a blessing to people's lives? Not just, frivolously, but hey, you know what? I'm going to implement it this way so that way it can grow and also be a blessing to the community. For God blessing me with this. What are you going to do if you are given a position of authority, a position of power? You know what? This supervisor just retired and this manager just quit. Now they're looking at the applicable candidates that have the ability to handle the job, and now you're up at the top of the list. How are you going to handle those co-workers that are looking up to you now to lead them properly? Are you going to do the same thing your supervisor or manager did to get away with dirt? Or are you going to lead by example? Because what you don't want is to prove God wrong. When God puts us in these positions, I'm pretty sure that he has a positive outlook on things. And I'm pretty sure, even though God knows the beginning from the end, even though he knew Saul wasn't perfect, he still had faith that Saul was going to be a great king. He was looking at his character. He was like, he's handsome, he's tall, he's got all the characteristics of a king. I'm going to give him this power. And then Saul let God down. He let him down. What are you going to do when it's your turn to have that blessing? You have to ask yourself that, because you never know when that opportunity is coming. P. Diddy did not know that he was going to go to jail the other day. I guarantee it. He woke up, he was smiling and laughing with his friends, this and that, and now his life has completely changed just like that. Just like that. And that's how quickly God will do it. When your time is up, if you have not repented, if you are not changing who you are, and it's just business as usual, God will remove you. He will remove you. And when God punishes you, when he's getting ready to do something, it's usually in a very, very, I hate to say it, brutal or crucial way that he does it. He does it in a way that you're like, man, you know what? It's over for me. He's like, yes, your latter days will not be better than your former days. You got away with it. Your latter days are going to be hell. And also, you just might go there. It's no joke to play with God when he blesses us with these things. This is an eye-opener for the whole world. Because anybody that's got dirt, anybody that is doing malicious things behind the scenes and things like that, trust me, everything is getting exposed. This year still has plenty of time left. And so much has happened this year. So much has happened. And the year still has plenty of time to expose more. The great thing is that God already knows this. God has already got the plan in place. He already knows he's about to remove some people and put some people in a new position. He's like, you know what? You've been asking for it. Now it's your chance. Or even if you haven't been asking for it, it might be offered to you. And then you have to ask yourself, what will you do? Because David did not know he was going to be king. He didn't have a dream like Joseph. And even then, Joseph didn't know he was going to be second in command. His dream was very vague. It just showed what he was doing over the sun, moon, and stars, and that his family was bowing down to him. That's all he got. He didn't see second in command. He didn't see, I'm going to be standing next to Pharaoh. He didn't see that I'm going to be in charge of all of the food in the land of Egypt. He did not see all that. So what will happen if God thrust you into a position of authority? I did not believe I was going to get custody of my son. And even though people decided to do certain things to get under my skin and this and that and this and that, this and that, I vowed to show God, I said, I'm going to show you that I can do the right thing having this position. And I've never, ever withheld my son from his mom. That's just not something I do. I never, ever have done that. And so when I'm looking forward to what he could possibly do in the future, I'm like, give it to me. I am more than ready when you say I'm ready, though. And until then, I have to keep going through the journey of preparation, because that's what a lot of this is for a lot of us. It's a journey of preparation for whatever he has planned for us. And we just have to make sure we're doing the intentional work on ourselves to be the best person we can be right now, not later. And what I mean by the best person you can be, and I'm not speaking of career-wise, I'm talking about heart-wise, righteous-wise. Be the best person you can be. At that point, God will trust you in that position of power. So my aim for this video is to shed light on a possibility that just because it's happening over there doesn't mean it won't happen in your neighborhood, of how you could also be getting set up for a position of authority. A wealth transfer might be right around the corner from you. You might have an inheritance coming sooner than you think. Because I know when we think of that, we think of somebody dying. Maybe somebody doesn't have to die. Maybe they put something in the background that you don't know about, and they did that so that way you're not searching and looking for it. Whatever the case may be, just always make sure that you be the best version of yourself. Make sure you keep that pure heart that you have. Make sure you take the high road and don't change who you are just because somebody does you some type of way, or a job is doing you some type of way. Whatever the case may be, stay true to yourself, because at the end of the day, we are not pleasing man, we are pleasing God. And that is it. So I hope this video has been a blessing. If you feel led to like, share, subscribe, and be a part of the journey, definitely do so. Otherwise, until next time.